Hey guys, welcome to a short supplemental episode for the web review series The More The Gorier, presented by Mr. Mayhem Movies. I'm Sean Scott, here with Jacob Rippin and Shane Scott. Now, for the More The Gorier web series, what we were trying to do is make as comprehensive reviews as possible about all these different horror series. But as time goes on, more movies or TV shows or whatnot get added, and our reviews.
How dare they?
Yeah, our reviews are no longer comprehensive. So, in order to get around that, we might occasionally put out a supplemental episode to just add a quick review.
Our fans demand it.
Yes, so many fans demanded it. Now, obviously, we won't do this for every movie or anything that comes out, because maybe we'll hit another big horror movie boom, and then all of a sudden a bunch of movies come out, which hopefully happens, but probably won't. Anyways, for this one in particular, we're doing Hellraiser Judgment. And the reason we're doing a supplemental for this is that when we recorded our Hellraiser review series, it was before Judgment had a release date, and by the time we're actually going to get it up on YouTube for you guys to see, Hellraiser Judgment not only had a release date, but has already been released and we have watched it. So I thought that, so people might be wondering what the big disconnect, so we might as well just throw out another review just to cover our bases.
I'm sure there's so many people wondering.
So many people are wondering. Anyways, I'm not sure when this will go up on YouTube, but it will be part of Season 1, just not one of the core 6 episodes. So anyways, we'll get started on it. And this is, as I said before, for Hellraiser Judgment, which is the 10th Hellraiser movie. It just came out. It was filmed, I think, last year in 2017, but it came out this year, 2018.
As a Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, in a way, just a little background for it is they're not this is just conjecture that someone in part of the movie said, and I think it was either the new actor for Pinhead or the director. I forget who said it, but they believe that because of the whole Harvey Weinstein scandal, that they kind of took it off the shelf and releasing anything they have because they need money at this point.
You know, for all those bills for. It's actually funny if you look at the credits. It's only what's his brother's name?
Rob.
Yeah, it's a Rob Weinstein.
Bob.
It just says Bob or Rob Weinstein. And usually in every movie I've ever seen, it's both of them.
It's always them together, but this one doesn't have Harvey Weinstein.
The non-rapey brother.
Well, there's still some there. Anyways, that's a little irrelevant to the movie.
But it had to be brought up.
It had to be. Anyways, with this one, it will be much shorter, and it's just going to add to the review thing. But to talk more about Judgment, it's directed by Gary J. Tunnicliffe. Now, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong because it's a hard to pronounce last name.
Tunnicliffe.
Do you know that for sure, or are you just saying?
Tony Cliff?
It might be right.
Is it Tony Cliff?
Anyways, this guy has been working as the special effects guy in these movies since Hellraiser, Hell on Earth, I think, the third one. And he also wrote the last movie, Hellraiser Revelations, and people hated that. I think we all pretty universally didn't like it. This time around, he gets to write and direct it, and in fact star as one of the characters in it, which is awesome. But we'll get to that in a moment. So I'll just give a quick rundown of the plot, just make it simple. In this one, it's about two brothers who are detectives who are searching for a serial killer that going under the name the Perceptor, I think, or the Preceptor, something along those lines.
It's funny, the two brothers, one looks like the stereotypical, not bad cop, but I don't play by the rules type cop. And then the other brother dresses really nice. He's the
slick back hair.
Yeah, it's what you expect from a detective.
Mm-hmm. And then they also are joined by a female detective, so it's kind of three of them working on the case. And while this is going on, there's also the whole Pinhead part of the story. But in this one, there's the Cenobites, which we've already talked, is kind of one order of hell. And we also get a glimpse at another order of hell, and I forget what they're called, but they're the kind of the head guy is leading it is called the Auditor, he wears sunglasses, was a bunch of cuts on his face. So they're not human, but they're just from a different order of hell, so they're not Cenobites.
Did they ever say that, or did they just kind of, because I just assume, this is just me assuming, that they were as much human as the Cenobites are.
They're probably as
where
similar.
they're not humans, but they come from humans.
Yeah, that it's not too clear. They never like go into.
They've never elaborated.
No, it's kind of just other stories around the movies.
To be fair, really, the other ones didn't elaborate much either on what was going on.
So with this one, the auditor and all of them kind of like judge people also in a way, and the auditor and their people are kind of working not for Pinhead and the Cenobites, but they're working with them to try. Basically, the auditors like pass judgment on Hellraiser judgment. They pass judgment on the people, and then they believe they should be punished. It kind of goes to the basically after they kill them, it kind of I envision it kind of goes to the Cenobites getting to deal with them.
Yeah, they never really explicitly said that, I don't think, but they might have. But
there's a lot going on, and this movie adds a lot to the mythology.
A lot, yeah.
And
in the last a good amount, not much is added to the overarching world within Hellraiser, and I think that's interesting with this one because like the first three you got to learn more and more about,
and even the fourth one.
Yeah,
but
and then the more they got to like where they weren't stories that were originally like Hellraisers, that's
when it went direct to DVD,
you stopped getting anything.
Pretty much all those other stories that Shane mentioned were different scripts that would then had Pinhead thrown into them. This one, and then Revelations was an original Hellraiser script, but it did suck.
It was thrown together quickly.
This one was a Hellraiser script the guy made, and then he didn't think that he could make it as a Hellraiser movie, so he took Pinhead and all of them out of it. But then he got the ability to make a Hellraiser movie, so he added all the Cenobites back in and kept the original Hellraiser script. And as I mentioned before, the guy who directed it, I don't know how you pronounce his last name, but Gary J. Tunnicliffe. He plays the auditor in this one because I don't think they really had the money to pay for another guy to play
that's
it.
all conjecture.
So
that's what
how that is. But anyways, he plays the auditor, and I think he does a great.
I liked him as the auditor.
I think the auditor is a very good character that I would like to see more of because he has like good lines like Pinhead does, and he has a great design, and he just has like an interesting orb around him that I want to know more of his backstory, and I want to see him do more. So before I go more into like about this movie, what did you think of this movie, Griffin?
I thought it was a cool movie. I had it like visually and different parts of it, but overall I don't think I liked it.
Yeah, why didn't you like it?
I felt it focused too much on the detectives part of it. I didn't think it was very well done, that part of it. I didn't like what they did with Pinhead at the end, and I didn't like that they definitively defined that realm as hell. I like not knowing for sure what it is.
We'll talk about the ending in a moment, but I get what you mean with this. I would say up until this movie, it's never been stated that they're part of hell. It's always...
They've never said that they're heaven, hell, or
you kind of thought they were maybe from a different dimension.
Yeah.
I think even like a tagline mentioned that before. In this one, and with like the auditors group, it does kind of like definitively say there is a hell, and they introduce the heaven concept, which is also added to the mythology, and that also factors in. And I would say in no previous movies, nothing has been referenced to heaven. So I can see with they did focus on the cops a lot, and there was the times when it just kind of like a straightforward detective drama about searching for a serial killer, but then that does tie in with the overarching thing with Pinhead. What did you think, Shane?
Actually, I really liked it. I thought it was the best one since for the original trilogy. I mean, I personally like unbiasedly, I would say it's one of the best, but I really like Inferno. I mean, there's a lot of similarities actually to Inferno in it. I actually, most of the stuff he didn't like, I liked about it. I liked them adding to the mythology because I just felt like it was needed for it to stay afloat because they added so much in the first few and then they just didn't add anything, and it was kind of, some of those like Deader and Hell World were kind of embarrassing. Like they just didn't add anything. So I liked the adding more. I liked the heaven and hell. I did like the ending because I liked what could come of it in another one. Because I thought it was decently fitting because you've seen kind of a similar thing happen like that before, where he gets dethroned in his realm. So
Should we talk about the ending real quick?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, like the ending was like the cop drama is. I don't know. It's kind of like a lot of what was going on was the cops detective part of it, but on the Pinhead side, he basically defies heaven by allowing this one serial killer to die that heaven wanted to keep alive.
Yeah, heaven wanted it alive because more people would be afraid and
then go to
and be
embrace
better
God.
people. Yeah, and so she like the one that was like the girl that was like the emissary from heaven was basically saying more people will be led to good. It was a very what's the deal? It's like the most good for
lesser of two evils.
yeah, the lesser of two evils. The most good they got out of it was this guy is back on Earth. And it was very utilitarian, just like the utility, which you get more utility, more people are saved. If he's dead, more people are saved if he's alive, and that's kind of why it's in a way convoluted, but yeah. And the detective thing to me felt like Hannibal or something like that. And I actually felt like this.
I could see it.
I felt like this could be stretched out into a season of a TV show, really. Easy.
I could see that. And like, to give away was the detective, so this would be a spoiler.
Yeah, so
one of the detective brothers is revealed to actually be the serial killer they were looking for.
Yeah, at the very end, he like opens the box. Well, the girl's with him, and he like knocks her out or something, and then like,
he takes his brother and his wife, and his brother and his wife are cheating.
So they kind of deserved all the crap they got because they were.
But he's a serial killer.
One thing, yeah, I mean, like, he was a soldier in like Iraq or Afghanistan or something, and his wife was like cheating on him during that with his brother. So it's like they're terrible people. But I mean, I like the brother a lot. I
really enjoyed.
They're all bad people. I mean, they're not as bad as a murderer.
So the serial killer brother opened a puzzle box in a way to give his brother and his wife over to Pinhead and the Cenobites in exchange for being allowed to.
Which they do, and it's like. They
get killed, and then Pinhead was going to take the serial killer brother, but then emissary for heaven, I forget her name, comes in and says, "No, Pinhead, you can't do that."
Need that. And he like reluctantly like says, "Okay." So when he goes right back, so they send him back to our world, but the other detective girl that he knocked out shoots him immediately. And
Pinhead knew that was going to happen, and he let it happen.
Yeah,
obviously.
and then she's like, I knew you were going to let that, like, you knew that it was going to happen. I actually thought the ending with her was one of the cooler things, throwbacks.
So, Pinhead kills basically the angel.
She does the classic hooks out of the wall. Like,
kind of like the way Frank
in, what's his name's body?
I forget his name.
You remember Frank.
Frank. Anyways, and Frank at the end gets his face pulled apart and he says, "Jesus wept."
She says the same thing.
Yeah, she said that. So anyways.
I don't think she's dead because she's not like human, so I think she just got set back up there.
Pinhead is all like basically says, he's like, "Come at me, bro." He was like, "What? They can't torture me. Like, I enjoy torture.
He loves the pain.
What's the worst they can do to me? Like anything they do to me, I like." So
then the auditor kind of comes over. It's like maybe there is something they can do.
Yeah, and then what they do is basically Pinhead is the king of the Cenobites. He's the king of that order. And what's the worst thing you can do to a king but to dethrone them
and take them out of all the pain and agony and stuff.
What they do is he is basically dethroned as Pinhead, and now he's living life as a mortal on Earth.
And he's wailing about how there's no pain and how he misses it. I liked it because it sets up another one, and I'm curious how that, because obviously he's going to get his throne back.
So you weren't a big fan of that?
No, it was cool watching it, but like overall, I didn't care for it.
You didn't like the way like ending was Pinhead not being Pinhead anymore.
Yeah.
Now there's also a post-credit scene that isn't too relevant, but it basically establishes that the auditor is still functioning. Yeah, like he's not punished for what Pinhead did.
Big part of this movie. The Chatterer was back.
Yeah, the Chatterer is still a returning Cenobite. Same guy who played him in like Inferno, Hellseeker, Deader. Deader and all.
That was important.
For some reason in Revelations it was a female Chatterer played by a different person. I don't know why, but in this one at least, it was the same guy from the direct-to-DVD ones came back, and there were some other good Cenobites, but mainly a big focus around the people from the Auditors thing. Now, with this one, this is all like just what I've read about for what the director sees as a sequel. Now, he didn't see a sequel going into this movie, but after making it, his idea was along the lines of another Cenobite basically needs to take over for Pinhead's role, and the guy whoever gets the job, whatever Cenobite like steps up, isn't doing a good job. So the auditor is slowly leaving breadcrumbs and trying to help Pinhead lead him back to his throne to become the Cenobite again. So, and then it would be like a big showdown between Pinhead and new Cenobite.
It would be reminiscent of, was it the third or second one with the Doctor?
The second one.
Second one, that's what I thought. Yeah, I think it would be reminiscent of that.
And you haven't really seen Pinhead be in a showdown like that with people since that one. And that was really short.
Yeah, he was dethroned.
I kind of want to see Pinhead like straight up fight a Cenobite like Freddy versus Jason style. It might be cheesy, but this is the 10th. This is Hellraiser Judgment. It's the 10th movie in the franchise. It doesn't matter at this point. It can be cheesy, but that could be expensive. So I don't know. Other things I'll say about this movie is this one, for some reason, I thought was, for a Hellraiser movie, particularly messed up. There was a lot of really weird things going on, especially with the auditors people.
It felt different than I liked it. I liked the feeling.
I don't know, this part where a guy's
brutal.
vomiting a lot is relevant to the plot.
Yeah,
and
it's
just
I don't
feels
know, the whole like auditing process, it seemed like you have the guy that like
lots of boobs.
The auditor like
Lots of
writes
boobs.
down every bad thing you did, and then like this guy comes in and eats it and then vomits it into a sink. It goes down a thing into a trough where these like naked ladies like eat it, and then they say guilty or innocent. It's really weird, but
And then like the weird like butcher or whatever, it's like
Comes
a big
in, it's
guy,
like,
and then it's a little person on his back, and it's a lot of weird stuff going on with that movie.
Don't forget about the blood on the boobs after that.
Oh yeah, it was like the money shot. It was weird. What also like was that part I think was like CGI blood when I was watching it, but mostly it was practical effects.
very good practical.
But there was like occasionally some CGI, but it still looked good.
It wasn't an oversaturation of CGI.
It looked good for a direct-to-DVD movie.
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to say about this one?
Not really.
So like,
We basically explained the whole, literally the whole plot.
I thought this was a good movie. Like, I wanted it to be good, so I don't know if that influenced anything at all. But I'm glad that it finally came out. I've been looking forward to it for a while.
Yeah, we've been expecting this.
And to me, it lived up to what I expected. I don't know, you weren't a big fan of it, but at least it's another movie.
I enjoyed watching it, and I would watch it again.
Okay. So, yeah, I'm glad it came out.
So
and
it's
it was
better
a good
than like Deader, which
Yeah.
I've refused to watch more than one time. Maybe
And
twice, but it's...
even though it's the 10th one, I would say if you're a Hellraiser fan and if you're watching this review, hopefully we didn't just spoil everything for you. But
hopefully you watched it.
It's a good movie, and I really think it holds up as a worthy entry in the Hellraiser canon.